Hi, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. Today we are gonna do the sixth update, in my Pan Those Eyeshadows series. There's a couple things right now that I just want to say. First of all, I dramatically changed my hair from my natural untreated hair to now we're back to red. I haven't been red in 6 years. So this is exciting for me. I freaking love it. The stylist at my salon did it and I'm like super feeling it. It just is so nice. So that's first and foremost. Big change happened. Second, this is a project that was started by Alexi Shostin. I will have her channel linked in the cards in the description box, and it's always linked at the very end of my video. You can just click Alexi's face. It's usually like right here. You can click that and it'll take you right to her channel. She is the concept creator for Pan Those Eyeshadows, and it's kind of just evolved and people tweak it to their own style and preferences, much like I have. So my rules are going to be in the description box so you can see them. So I've already been rambling on for like 3.5 minutes. So I'm just going to go down this list, starting with the shade that was in the first, and then we work our way down to the most recent rule in. So last update I feel like was a pretty exciting one. This one's exciting, but not as exciting. It's still great. Don't get me wrong. It's still a very exciting update. And we're going to kick it off. I guess we're going to start with the exciting things. It's just how it happens. So the first shade comes from my BYOP. I have tallies on this. I just try to keep track of like if I've used each shade of my BYOP. So the first one comes from my BYOP, and it is the shade from Clionadh Cosmetics called Ornamental. I'm trying to get it out. So the shade Ornamental is a beautiful, stunning, it's like every kind of color I want all in one. I am wearing it today. I have a lot of stuff layered on my eyes today, but I am wearing it today in this eye look. This is the first time I'm pairing greens with my new red hair. I am feeling it. I feel like poison ivy. I feel great. I love this. I love it. But this is what Clionadh's Ornamental is looking like now. I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but there is a tiny little bit of pan in the, you're not going to be able to see it the way that the sun is. Maybe you can see it there. I will take a picture using a macro lens and I will attach it up here so you can actually see it in its beauty. But I ended up using this one 6 times this month. Today was the 6th time. I hit pan today doing this look. So I knew it was close. The dip was pretty darn big in this shade. I would say the Clionadh Cosmetics shades are probably as deep as Natasha Denona pan-wise. They're kind of pressed up above, like beveled above the actual pan. So they are pretty deep shadows. And I need a very little bit to go a very long way in this, but 12 uses and I was able to hit pan in that guy. The next palette I have to talk about is my Adept Cosmetics Plain Jane palette. Now I love this palette. This palette is so pretty. I'm so happy. This is like the only palette, I think this is the only palette I purchased this year. I purchased this back in March. So I'm doing really well not overspending on eyeshadow palettes this year. I didn't really think about this one. I just kept seeing it and I was like, I need it. So this is the Plain Jane palette, and I was working on this shade here called ACI 5, and as you can see, I don't know if you'll really be able to tell, but there is a little baby pan in that one. I was not expecting it when it showed up. I was actually quite shocked. I was using it to top another shade I don't think in this project, but I was using it to top my look, and all of a sudden there was just pan there, and I was like, I wasn't expecting this. The pans in this are very, very shallow. And we're not stopping there. The next palette we have is the Bare Necessities palette. This is a big, beautiful 30 pan palette that my husband had gifted me for Valentine's Day a couple years ago at this point. And the shade we were working on was that first one in the palette called Idle Hour. It's just a nice, beautiful inner corner shade. And this is what we are looking like now. So I hope you can see there is definite pan in that shade. We were working on Silk Teddy last month only to roll this guy in as well. That shade took like no time at all to hit pan in. That one was 6 uses with a like detailed inner corner brush. So I don't feel like that's cheating in a shade like this just because I would have used the same brush with it and hit pan. So I wasn't trying to drill down and drill into it. There's still 2 shades to talk about though, and the first last shade comes from my Natasha Denona Love palette. I was actually quite excited to bring this palette in because this palette gets not so much love in my collection, if I'm being quite honest. So the shade we're working on is Valentine here, and I know that shade is going to take forever. Like that is probably going to be a 50 to 60 use kind of shade to hit pan in. Natasha Denona mattes are insanely beautiful, buttery soft. You don't need a whole lot to get color impact on there. So I think I'm actually going to use one of my vetoes. I know I'm not going to hit pan in this, so I'm going to just allow myself to roll it out and get another shade in there. So I'm going to I have a little sticky note that I keep with all my vetoes. So this will be my 4th veto. I still have 8 more vetoes to go. However, I don't foresee myself using them unless we roll something that I'm like totally like, no. But I have 4 vetoes used at this point. If you don't believe me, that is that right there. I did go back and look at every single one of my Pan Those Eyeshadows videos to see if I had vetoed anything. And I did. I vetoed 3 items. This is the 4th. Not because I don't like it. I just know in my heart of hearts, it's not going to happen. Then the very last shade that we have to talk about comes from the BH Cosmetics Avocado Toast palette. This was a gift from Haley, my soul sister. I talk about her all freaking time because I love her so much, and she has sent me a large portion of my eyeshadow palettes. The shade that we were working on, or that we are working on in this palette, is the shade Haas. This guy here, which if you didn't see my favorite shade per palette, this is definitely my favorite shade in this palette. There's something about those grungy olivey greens. They're so pretty. I do have it on my look today. Can you tell? No. This shade is going to stay in the project. I love it. I'm so happy about it. I know I didn't swatch anything. I'll have my old swatch, like my old color story, go up somewhere. But this is the only shade that we're going to keep in this project. It's just a beautiful, beautiful olive green tone, as I mentioned. But now we're going to roll 4 more items in. I actually just spur of the moment decided on the Valentine shade. So I can't believe we have 4 shades rolling into this project. So I'm going to prep my Pretty Random app with like the numbers, and I will be right back. Now in my Pretty Random app, I have the numbers 2 to 651. That is just how my spreadsheet is. There is a header in my spreadsheet, so I start at 2, and technically it goes down to 652. So maybe I need to put 652. There are 651 shades in my collection though. So we have 2 to 652, and we're just going to randomize 4. So the first shade is going to be 205. Ooh, actually, let me swatch that with... It's similar to some Subculture shades. All right, so the shade I would have rolled in is this guy, and these are my 2 Subculture shades. It's way too similar, way too similar. So as excited I was to roll in my Natasha Denona Sunrise palette, I am going to just, I'm going to re-roll. I know, it's annoying, I know. So the first shade actually will be 195. It really wants to pan something in this palette. So 195 is actually the shade Awakening. Oh, I love this shade. Okay, we will pull that in. So I am going to be working on a shade from the Sunrise palette, and 195 is actually the shade called Awakening right here. That shade is so pretty. I almost picked that for like my favorite shade in that palette. It's the second one in that line. That is so pretty. I also think that's going to go really well with my new Exciting Hair because it has more of that red tone to it, but an interesting flip. So Awakening is going to get rolled in. I definitely think I mean, not within a month, but I definitely could hit pan. I've hit pan in Natasha Denona Shimmers. It's the mattes that are like the tricky ones, but I will be rolling in Sunrise into this project. I'm excited. All right, the next shade, the second shade we're going to be rolling in is going to be 538. Man, we're going all the way to the bottom of that spreadsheet. Woo! Shade 29. Oh, man. Ooh, okay. Okay. So, shade 538. Guys, she's back. She's back to make her frequent flyer appearances in this project. The VH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil. I had thought 2022, I avoided the curse of the BH Take Me Back to Brazil palette being in this project so much. We haven't had her in until right now. The 29th shade is actually going to be, so 8, 16, 24, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. This green shimmer. And it is that bottom green shimmer. So definitely different than the Avocado Toast. I love these kinds of shades, so I have no problem reaching for it. I'm hoping that maybe I can even pair like that second shade with some of these like pinky red tones to kind of get some more use out of this palette as well. So the third shade that we're going to generate to roll in is going to be 48. Man, ooh, a single though. I'm excited. I always love getting singles in this project. It's just very exciting to me to be able to kind of reach and grab for my singles collection. This is an exciting shade. I will be right back. Woo! All right. I have my large singles palette that doesn't even fit in frame anymore, I swear. I don't give myself permission to use these kinds of shade all that often, which is a shame because they're some of my absolute favorite kinds of shades. If you have seen my like single eyeshadow declutter, I mentioned like the shades that I'm constantly drawn to but don't always wear, and they are typically these kinds of beautiful minty greeny blue kind of shades. I just love these so much. Stunning shimmer. Very much those mint chocolate chip vibes. Do I really want to have 3 different kinds of greenish shades? Not necessarily, but summertime. I kind of want to branch out and see if I can like incorporate, especially with my hair being so drastically different. I kind of want to play with some more exciting shades like this. So I don't think it'll be a problem. Like I will be like embodiment of Ariel, and I'm fine with that. The fourth and last shade that we're going to roll in today is going to be shade 224. Ooh, okay. So the fourth and final shade that we're rolling in, bringing our total to 5, is coming from the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. This is an extremely reflective packaging. I have not once reached for this palette this year. It is June 26th when I am filming this. This one has not been used at all this year. I've had this since December 2021. The shade that we're going to be working on in this project is the shade Balance here, which probably is going to hinder some usage in my Subculture palette. However, I kind of want to be able to use all these. I will more than likely be vetoing this out next month, but I do kind of want to give myself like the chance to play around with this palette, the chance to just like kind of experiment and see what looks I like with this. So that is Balance, that last shade there. Just a nice matte brown to kind of anchor all of these shades in. That is it for my Pan Those eyeshadows. I don't think, let me double check. So I did an extremely bad job taking pictures this month. I'm looking in my folder of like my June looks and it's empty. So what I do try to do is on my Instagram, I do try to post like my looks daily, and then I have like highlights for my looks. But yeah, there not a lot of pictures were taken this month. A lot of like the same look constantly throughout the month. I've been really trying to focus on Subculture, as I keep like harping on. My other focus then is Pan Those eyeshadows. Clearly, I do love hitting pan in my collection, especially in so many variety of palettes. I get to kind of touch and use so many things. Let me know if you have any specific looks you would be curious to see using this color story. I don't think this color story is going to be that good for a every shade in one eye look kind of video, just because we're very shimmer heavy. It's not impossible, but I definitely am not super inspired with this. And with my hair being such a drastically different, like the dark brown, I could wear anything all the time and kind of makes anything look, because my hair was such like a basic color, like a neutral color that lent to colors well. This hair, I'm not super sure on yet. I remember last time I had red hair, I was working at Bare Minerals and I was doing a lot more neutral looks. But that is it for my Pan Those Eyeshadows update. If you search the hashtag Pan Those Eyeshadows in YouTube, you'll find so much content to watch. Like, there's not enough time in the day to watch all that content. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are staying healthy, sane, and safe, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!